Okay, so let's first import the models inside the Vue. If you don't use it from Cornucopia, from other ones resources, you may use a DAZ Studio, or you may most likely using the Poser Pro. Currently, I'm using Poser Pro 2010, so a bit older version. By default, I'm starting, and we can go ahead, open models. You can see I have some of them already. Those models purchased from DAZ 3D, so we can look on some of the models. An example right here, most of them will already, you can pre-build by yourself, add details, and I do export separate chairs or preset. Like example, they have it one in a room where you have it chairs on the floor and other things. Maybe you want to add your own details, so you can export all preset already as one model and separate details. So to open, we'll just double click to loading this model. Okay, let me move this away. And it's take a few seconds, depend on your machine, till all textures is loaded. Right here we can preview, we have it simple model is loaded, and this is actually for digital backgrounds. This is unbelievable how many you can create it. So for example, you can create front look from here. We can create something in this room as well. Right here we have another hallways. So I see a lot of potential, and textures is done well for this model, so this is very nice. And this is more like kind of almost decay zombie type if you want to do apocalypse. If you like it, you can also create it into sci-fi. We'll do this in a second. So right here, example model. When you're done, mostly I don't even apply any changes. I will rework a little bit more on the texture and bump map, but I want to do this inside the Vue, not inside the Poser. So I'm going file, and all what you need, just save it. So you can save this as the model. Okay, after you save there, we can go inside the Vue, and we can go and start import the model. Okay, so right here, the model I imported. Again, you can have it look on import options. Normally we just save as default. I don't want to downsample my textures because I want high res, so I'll leave it as default right here. And I don't want collapse the technical materials because I want to separate them. In some cases I want maybe remove or hide wall, and I'll show you in some other examples when it can be useful. Okay, so we'll go ahead, open. If your Poser is not yet set up, it will prompt you for the path for your Poser. You can also set up this from file options as well. So right here I want to just use a single frame, leave curl interpolations. I don't want reposing because I don't really care about this. Mostly I already predefine, but if you think you maybe need to open doors or do other stuff, you want probably allow this. And if you want to use it, the Poser shader tree, you can enable. I will use just native render inside the Vue. So disable, we'll click OK. It's take a second till it's loading with all models and textures. Okay, so here we have our model. A couple important things. Most time when you work with Vue, processor speed is number one. It's how fast you can render. However, if you work with a larger textures, high resolution, you want to be sure you have plenty of the memory in your computer so you don't start swapping and run out. So you can see we have a nice model preloaded. The one thing what I do, I always raise slightly off the ground because I don't care about going and render right here what is on the bottom because I will be inside. But if you accidentally something going below, you can see we have a disappear ground, so you don't want to be exactly there. Easy way, just floating. And also if something fall through the floor, you can easily see right here and modify on a side view. Okay, let's take our main camera, and first what I'm going to reposition slightly. Okay, and maybe just place it like this. There you go. Here's for example my first shot that I want to do. If you want to apply with sun, you can modify it. I found sometimes it's hard to control, mostly when you do inside the buildings render for your background, hard to control sometimes properties in the sun. So what I do normally, take sun and put underground, so I hide, it's become total dark. Next, I'm start setting up my own lights. So I'm going and maybe bring one light, okay, right here inside, and you saw we have it a lights. For example, right here we have it these long lights going, and I'm kind of maybe readjust with them inside the view, so we have it lighting. Okay, now let's bring it a little bit lower. I'm just looking how it will light up. Okay, as usual, I will use it quadric lights because fallout, but you can use it standard or other things. Also, you notice right here when we start rendering, textures sometimes look too rough. So let's go in the hallway and open material editor. You'll notice in a bump map sometimes a little bit higher. I like to do at least for the poser materials 0.02. I found this is create nice smooth, but same time you can see it good texture. So I will go preset, and I'm just going through all these textures and set the value. You can do this globally, but I'm just like to be sure we have it all properly set. As well, I notice in some highlights doesn't set, so we'll come back to this. And right now let me go through all of them and change. Okay, so when you go and control adjust, next we like to do sometimes look on highlights, see if they properly, you maybe want to readjust them so a little bit less shiny or other, and mostly of those ones we can just go through. You see some highlights doesn't set properly, the black, so you maybe want to pop them up, set a little bit less. Okay, highlights will help you to bring a little bit more dimension. So just go over each material, and easiest way I find it's just keep it on same tab, go through it, cycle troll, go back, select another tab, cycle again. So this way you'll have a little bit faster way to going. Again, some of them maybe. Okay, the other things you can go and modify it, but what I was looking also, it is, okay, you can see we have no name, so it's hard to go this way. What I'm going to look right now, for example, for this light bulb right here on the top, because it's there, but I want to create something so it's look more like real. Okay, so we'll go cycle through all of them till we come to this light. Okay, right here we have it around, and this is light bulbs itself. So I'm going to effects, and actually I'm going to increase luminosity for this. So now they will be a little bit brighter as well, pop up ambient and diffuse. So they will be kind of glowing, but not that much, which is give it nice effect. Okay, when we're done with material, next what I want to do is work a little bit more on a light. We have one light on top here, and we can modify with the colors, so it will give it different colors. So for this one, I'm going to set kind of a little bit bluish, maybe. Okay, we'll set a little bit bluish. Let's give it this kind of daylight almost look for this light. Okay, next let's go take this light, hold down Alt, drag, and I'm moving this a little bit away, more closer right here. Let's see, maybe even, you know, way on the back right here, and let's switch this light to warmer color actually. So we start kind of playing on the colors as well. You know what, let's reduce values. Okay, take this one, slightly reduce, so we kind of start playing with these lights. You can see how we can stop. And let's take this light, move again, copy. You can see I'm just press Alt, copying, and set this light closer to the window right here. So we'll, okay, we set to a little bit white color. We also can take it and move it to one more as a window right here, so we can create it. Okay, let's preview. Okay, so you can see we have it kind of darker. The one reason is because Vue still render like outside. To set a proper render, we need to go to Atmosphere Editor to preview, light, we want to set global res and uncheck these two options for indoor render and this. So this will add a much better light distribution. And just to compare only with these options, okay, you can see right here. Okay, let's compare. So this is with the options. So be sure if you render inside like this, you will enable those options. So again, right here to compare it. Okay, let's go next. Mostly this value won't be affected, so I'm just taking an and just set everything to 0, so it's no effect will be applied. Okay, we'll just set them. Majority of the, I know they won't affect anyone because our sun is way down, and if you want more, you set 100%, so no ambient light. All what you control is just by your normal lighting that you have it. Again, by playing with the colors, playing with the effect. Also right here, this light, let me look one more things on the slide. You can see by adding slight luminosity, it's kind of glowing, but maybe not as I wanted. So you can always replace those light bulbs in a Vue list by creating cylinder or square or whatever the light source is. Okay, let's go select. Okay, right here is kind of I'm creating look like a light tube almost. Okay, we can go right here, cylinder, right click and convert to area light. Okay, now we can go rotate, place it. Okay, and we can just bring closer and replace it with this light. Okay, let's preview as example. So you can see right here we replace this light with area light, and it's look like a light tube inside. We can duplicate them. This also adds some lighting to us. And so you can use multiple different light sources if the texture even not supported. So right here we have a second light. Okay, we have 2 cylinders. You know what? Let's switch them to colder light. Okay, as well we'll take way down. I like to work with a little bit less lighting. It's easy control, but you can see we can modify it. Again, lighting, when we start photo shooting, we will use it probably 3-point lights, so it will going from the side. It's easy to control it, remove it, and one from the front. We can modify from the front as well, make darker or lighter. So we'll see how we modify this. But even with these settings right here, what we have it, okay, like this point, we already have it quite a bit nice set up, so we can easy integrate. This light a little bit too dead on center, so maybe we want to move it. But again, we can move with a nice lighting, kind of more mystery, a little bit going from the windows, light up. Maybe even darker, this one too bright at this point. And again, we can compare. You can see you can go through all of them, okay, to readjust. Okay, let's say we can tweak even more and sometimes take it, but overall this is principle when we set lighting, set all the shadows. The next things I want to render, and here's a couple tricks when I start render. One, I want to be sure I at least set superior or ultra quality, but for this tutorial I will just set final. Normally I'm going on high resolution, and normally I going at least 4000 pixels. So again, for this tutorial we'll right now just render on low resolution so I can show you some effect, but we'll go on final. And other important options, I want to enable relighting, okay, and I don't want reusing direct lighting because I want to render all the time. So most important, enable relighting. Don't use this one. Set your high resolution wherever you need it, DPIs or scale, and be sure you set higher quality render. Again, this is this subsetting set only for this tutorial. So I'm going to render this, going to pause this tutorial, and we'll come back when the render is completed. Okay, so right here we finished render, and it's took about 5 minutes. I found out on a machine like what I have 6-core, 12-core, it's take about a couple hours for 4,000 pixel render, so it's not that bad. It's good speed on this. Also, here's the things when we enable relighting. You can notice right here we have it all options that can modify. Sometimes it's hard. Oh, this light's maybe too light or bright, I don't want it. So I can actually go inside and modify it. Be sure let's enable fully interactive so we can preview our image. And you can see right here I can actually go and readjust individual lights on the brightness and see how they will affect if I want it or not. In this case I don't need it going and re-render, but I can go and just relighting and readjust lights I want it, or maybe even apply some color changing on lights as well. However, you still keep it original lights kind of its adjustment, so whatever modification lights you're doing, it's go over lights that was done before. But it is very helpful to, like example right here, just going and maybe readjust some lighting, slightly modification, so creating a little bit. Well, let's go. You can go even higher if you want it, if you just type it inside Windows, so you're not necessarily can go lower. And you can, I think you can even type it negative numbers as well to this. Okay, so right here it's point of views to relighting. Again, when we set, and if you want to re-render, for example, if you decide, hey, let me run with relighting first and set up all the lights, I like it. Okay, for example, I like this color better. Be sure we have a copy settings to the scenes enabled, so when we click OK, now all the settings is updated here. So when we render on a full resolution, it will render with the relighting settings that we done. So let's say we're done render everything, and next what I'm going to do now, I want to save, but I don't want just to save as PSD format. As example, I want to actually go and save as high dynamic range, HDR. So reason is why, so I can go after this and even readjust even better on tones, because you're not necessarily all the time maybe like it how tones come up or other things. So I save as HDR. Next things, you want to have an application that can work with high dynamic range images. So let's say I'm going to use it for Photomatic Pro. If you have it any other application, you can use it. Photoshop supported. I found for the purpose that I'm working, Photomatic work very well. You don't necessarily need to pro version this plugin, but you can get it also free trial edition or other ones, and this very not expensive application to use and have a lot of good properties. So let's say I'm open right here to next. I need to go file and just open image that I created. So I don't need loaded bracket photos if you're familiar with HDR, because I already kind of created it, and a high dynamic range is going from all of these ranges. So you notice we have a little bit too bright image because it's got all tones. We can see very nicely in the shadows, details, and bright. So next what I want to do is click on a tone map. The tone map, for example, for this specific, I want to use it tone map options. You can switch it, and we'll go to the detail enhancer. You have a tone compressor, but right now what I want to work a little bit more with details. Our first string, it's, you can see increase kind of on the shadows. One thing when you work with Photomatic, it doesn't interactively change while you're dragging slide. It's updating when you're releasing, so you kind of need almost like slightly drag and release. For the currently, I want to make a little bit grinchy look, so I will go all the way to 100. You can also modify color saturation, so I'll pop up this one. Okay, luminosity, we can go brighter or all the way darker, kind of like almost original, so we can bring I also sometimes look on histogram, see if I'm start clipping right here lower levels. Right now I'm in a darker, it's about right, and most important, I'm not clipping. However, I have it clipped right here, highlights probably on top, so that is okay. I will rework this. Okay, I'll bring a bit darker, and of course detail contrast, we have it 2 more, but again I want grungy, so I'll bring contrast up. Lighting, we have it from surreal, so already some preset. I'm just going with a natural lighting. Okay, next we have it smooth highlights. You can notice the different is, so again this is a little bit more in details, and again for the grungy I'll just go a little bit, probably smooth highlight just slightly. Okay, white point increasing, so we can have it all the way darker white point, and also we can increase black point to make very grungy. You can see even on render before we cannot bring these details. Now we have it way higher ability because all information it's already there inside the image. When we save as high dynamic range, we just kind of bringing more to range that computer can support it. So again we can preview, and I probably want to, right here you can see I start clipping some of this edge, so it's right here, well, clipping it will missing some information, so I don't want to do this. I'm just bringing maybe right here histogram, so we still have some details that area as well. It's depending on what gamma work you maybe want to set brighter or whatever gamma you like to apply it, and temperature it's colder or warmer tones. Okay, let's set even in warmer here. Okay, when you're done with settings, okay, we'll have it also a little bit more micro smoothing. You can see on some details, let's bring down because I want a bit more grungy look. Saturation, highlights and shadows, it's again we can get darker or brighter, same things, and shadow smoothness as well, a little bit more grungy if we're going this way, and smoother, but for this one I want shadows actually smooth. When we're done with processing, and you can readjust a little bit more, click process, so it's take very fast. Okay, this is our image, and we have another finishing touch kind of, so we can apply a little bit more of the shadows, highlight. Right here for example highlights won't be visible, but again bring here a little bit more. Okay, maybe it's too dark, just a little bit grungy darker look. Okay, let's go on sharpening. I pop up sharpening and take threshold down to 2. You don't want over sharpening, we can always do this, but again just maybe a little bit like right here. Colors is important when you start working with some bring saturation, like for example a ballroom. I will use quite a bit of the saturation on some. Right here you can see if you want to bring in, you know, a little bit more of this, some colors, probably aqua and cyan will bring a little bit more in the walls color. So right here maybe. Okay, right here you can see we set our image, and again compare this to original, so it will look a little bit different. So let's save this one, and we also save other one, and I'll see compare side per side. Okay, as a save, I'll just save as TFF, the tone method. So we'll go save this one, and as right here we can go and also save this as well, and let's save this as just to compare as JPEG. Okay, and we can go open both. Okay, so we can right here we have it our original as JPEG, and here I have the tone method. It's again up to you which one you like. At this have a little bit more details bring in, this is a little bit more settled natural look, so it's up to what you're going. But again I like personally, because I'm going after tone map, a little bit better details, more surrealistic look for this specific area, give me nice details. And right here we're kind of losing a little bit too fuzzy on those details that don't blend well together. Right here we have a nice look on them. Again, it's up to you how you like it, but overall here's a way how we can create background. Again, this was done for kind of grungy, maybe zombies type or surrealistic, some you can do it. So let's we'll also look how to create some other ones.